fast-paced, reactive industry to be in. People that do their jobs well understand that and, have strategies in place for dealing with it. But if it's not managed well, then these are the big pressure points, particularly around psychosocial risk within our sector. So it all sort of feeds back to some of the stuff that we're doing. I'm not even sure if the right terminology to use here, Matt, but I guess for me, psychological or psychosocial safety just means, do I know that I matter in the workplace? Like, is my opinion going to be asked for, heard? Do I feel like I'm going to be included? Can I speak up if things are not right or they don't feel right or I've got questions about something? That's kind of at the heart of what it means to me. Am I simplifying it too much?
No. It's definitely, there's no risk or danger of simplifying it. I think if anything, it's important to boil it down to those types of words and that types of language, right? And I think it's not a coincidence that we are seeing these types of conversations and psychosocial risk, or the hazard of psychosocial hazard, becoming a key point of discussion and a priority across organizations, across regulators, and across political spheres, on one hand. And then on the other hand, we're seeing the rise of the Gen Z and the Gen X, where the sense of values, self-worth is equal to, or if not more important than anything else. And so the reason why I'm saying that is that organizations that are doing extremely well, and the obvious ones, the likes of the Googles and all these big companies on an international space, they're all flourishing and doing extremely well because they have recognized the importance of having really clearly defined values, missions, purpose. And that resonates with particularly the younger workforce. And I think where we find evidence or places of work where psychosocial issues are being raised is in environments where people just simply don't feel safe to speak up, or where they just don't feel that they can be themselves. And that's where I think, I find the whole space fascinating, because what it's really demanding businesses of all shapes and sizes to now embrace is the idea of building a safe, just culture where people can speak freely. We've got the shared values and the shared purpose, but we are all still individually responsible for our actions and behaviors, which is, again, clearly defined within the Health and Safety at Work Act. So it's not just an airy-fairy nice to have. It means that we all have a collective responsibility from one another. So how do we actually bring this to life? How do we have a safe work environment where values and purpose are all aligned? Well, it comes right back to what we've been talking about throughout this whole talk, which is around the importance of engagement and participation, right? We can't just get away any longer with whole company talks where we get everyone together in the workplace. The director comes up onto the stage and talks to us for about 10 minutes, telling us how amazing we all are and we've met those KPIs, and then wanders off thinking job done. When the opportunity to hear and get input and insights from the people that are actually at the coalface, that are creating the risks in the first place, that's where the gold is. And that's what we need to get really comfortable in doing, is opening up those policies and those manuals and getting feedback and insights from the people that are actually doing the mahi. At the end of the day, there's no purpose or value in that being drafted by someone that's never been involved in that activity, because that's where I feel that lots of the conflict actually comes from, is the disconnect between the expectations in a document that's gathering dust on a desk somewhere and actually what's happening on the ground floor and in reality. And I think once we start to get better at the conversations. And I think actually this is the emerging role of the health and safety practitioner. Is I feel that to be a really great health and safety practitioner in today's world, it all comes back to facilitation. If you are a confident communicator and you're good at bringing different parties together, then that's where the magic starts to happen. And that's where we start to get away from having to even worry about psychosocial issues in the workplace.
That's kind of our aspiration with what we're trying to do with this project with WorkSafe as well. We're starting with that basis of how do we bring people in that actually care about this.
Yep.
How do we use the expertise that we already have within our sector and industry to tell us what are the things that they need for in terms of resources, and how do we help them to be better, you know, in terms of their connections and the support that they have around them as well, to enable them to do what they do, because then we'll make a far better you know, impact on the 115,000 people that we have within our workforce.
Totally.
You know?